All right, it's 5:50 a.m., so I have to keep my voice down because everyone's asleep. I woke up at like 1 a.m., half one. I couldn't sleep. I had like a lot of thoughts circling in my mind, and so I woke up and literally just started journaling, and I wrote like 4 pages, and pretty much all of it's about dating and my development and how to like structure my life and everything. And the title of this entry is "Your actions have consequences. Treat her right." So yeah, man. So I've been journaling for like 3 hours this morning. And I'm not gonna lie, like I had like a smile on my face whilst doing it. I really love my personality where a few years ago I would have been pissed off, like, oh, I can't sleep. Like, so I woke up at 1 a.m. and I couldn't go back to bed. I would have been pissed off. I would have just grabbed my phone and like fucking jacked off, or, been scrolling on my phone, would have hopped on my PC, started smoking weed. And all I did this time was like with a smile on my face, walk downstairs, make peppermint tea, and literally just sit and like listen to calming music for like 3 hours with like, it was really dark in my room as well. Like I had this off and that light was off as well. So it was literally just like the back red light, and it was just like peaceful, just journaling for hours and exploring my mind. And I went through the comments of the Amsterdam video, the Dubai video, and then the video that I made after Amsterdam, which is titled "I Gotta Stop Having Sex." And honestly, I'm more fucking clueless now than I am previously. Like, I'm gonna make a video separately talking about this, dating advice and everything from me, but I have like no idea how to like go about like dating. And like I've been so much against casual sex, and I do hold by that, but I can't seem to like have a plan for myself, or how to like go forward, what my true values are with this, because there's like 100 different thoughts to consider at once. And I was trying to see if I could like journal about the comments that people were writing, but there was no general consensus. And I think that's somewhat common sense, because everyone's just going to kind of project their own values and their opinions into a video like that, where it's so personal to talk about how you're structuring your dating life and your sex life. But I was really hoping for like the easy way out would have been like everyone saying the same thing, so it's so easy for me to think, oh yeah, like if hundreds of people are saying it, it might be the right thing that I could consider. But there was like a wide variety of answers that I should consider religion, that I should get married first, and like I should, like forget everything else, get married, find a wife right now. There's lots of people saying like no, casual sex is fine, Hamza. It's like it's human, like animalistic desire. Lots of like spiritual, philosophical debates, and it really shows me like there's so much overthinking you can do. And I think I'm back to square one, where I just kind of feel like clueless on how to navigate dating. And I was speaking to Sam and everything, and it was just a few minutes ago. I went to the toilet, kind of looked up at myself in the mirror, and I almost visualized like the fall of this channel, this movement, this business. And for the first time, and I can't even remember how long, maybe about 1.5 years, I felt stress. Like I have not felt stress in so long. It was very interesting because I've been so mindful over the last like 2 years. I've been meditating every single day. Still to this day, meditating every single day. Sometimes, I'll pussy out and I'll do literally 10 minutes, but like I've meditated every single day, which is fucking sick, because 2 years ago I didn't even know what meditation was. And yeah, I had this like feeling of stress where I almost visualized like, oh fuck, like what if I do fuck up? Like, what if I do something that like makes the boys hate me, and then everyone hates me? Then I'm gonna read thousands of comments of people saying that they hate me, and like, bro, if you're a content creator, you'll know how I feel. But if you're like someone who's just watching me on the other side of the screen, trust me when I say it's like you don't realize how much just a simple comment influences your mood. Like maybe there's someone who's like less emotional or something than I am, and they'll say like, oh no, it's not important or anything. But when you like have, I don't know, personality style or something, but when you like read comments, the way that it feels for me is like it feels as if someone is in your face saying that exact same thing. But what's so weird is that after a while, like the positive comments have like way less of a nice effect. So it's almost like, oh, really, like, I don't mean to do this, and this is no disrespect for the people who write nice things about me, and, you know, Hamza, you've really helped me and everything. It's kind of like I'll just breeze past them as if they do nothing to me. And it's the one comment that literally just says, like, not even something horrible, it literally just says, like, no, I think you're wrong about this one thing. And it's like, you literally, like, I don't know if it's what this is related to, maybe like trauma or something, but like, it fucking hurts when, like, it's just a simple comment of someone saying, like, oh no, you're wrong. And then with a video where I've kind of like explained things that I've done wrong, and there's people saying, like, no, you're a hypocrite, you're contradicting yourself, you're a bad person, like, Hamza's a scammer, and, you know, all this shit, like, some people can say, and, like, you know, there's trolls and there's people being offensive. Like, that shit truly fucking hurts. Like, I never realized, and this isn't like, sometimes you see like a creator who's making a video before they have like a mental, I'm not gonna have like any kind of mental, like, my mental health is like, I've got to say this just in cases, like, if there is anyone watching this who feels a bit worried for me, my mental health is like probably some of the best it's ever been. I'm surrounded by people that I love. I've got like the best friendship group I could have ever imagined right now. It's fucking insane how my life is right now, and I feel so like visionary and so purposeful. But of course, I'm trying to increase my level of humility to still kind of see weaknesses and see areas that I can improve. So when I do speak about these issues, I don't want you to think it's kind of like a woe is me, like, oh, Hamza's suffering. It's more like, oh, here's something that I can currently improve on. Because self-improvement, I know this is off topic, but self-improvement, you've really got to keep in mind, you've got to constantly be progressively overloading. If you ever feel like you've kind of stopped and life isn't much of a challenge for you right now, then you're simply not growing. One of the videos I'm going to be making separately is going to be titled that sacrifice needs to be progressively overloaded. Think about that phrase. Sacrifice needs to be progressively overloaded. So in cases for like your own personal development and character, you kind of have to sacrifice like ego, you have to sacrifice that level of comfort that you have in your current views. And yeah, so I got this feeling of stress, and I fully like was so aware of like what stress feels like. I felt my stomach kind of churning in a sense. It almost felt like I could feel my heartbeat going a bit faster. I visualized like somewhat like negative thoughts, and the specific thoughts I visualized was kind of like, I've done something wrong, I've been called out, everyone like, you know, hates me, and I'm just like another YouTuber that's kind of like, you know, fallen off. Like, they probably subscribe to some YouTubers who seemed like, oh, my alarm just went off. You've probably subscribed to YouTubers who've seemed like really important, and then they're just dead, and their channel's kind of dead, and they still post some videos, but they get like 2,000 views or something. And like, that's one of my biggest fucking fears, bro. I know like maybe it shouldn't be and everything, but like, when I sometimes like click on like some random YouTube channel and I see that they have like similar subscribers, but they get like no views, and of course, you know, it shouldn't be based on views and everything, but I think seeing a stall in growth and seeing a decline, that just seems so like scary and everything. And it's not happened because I think as I continue growing and I keep up like the things that people like in the channel, then we're of course going to keep growing. And, you know, YouTube algorithm can like fuck you around and stuff, but I'm not really too scared of that. I'm just focusing on the positives. But it was in terms of people kind of like disliking me as like my character. And I specifically thought about Sam, so our video editor, because I started getting really scared, and I was like, oh fuck, like if the channel starts dying, I won't be able to afford to pay him. I won't be able to like help my dad, and he'll have to work more hours. And this isn't me trying to guilt trip you, like, oh yeah, make sure you never like click on subscribe, because then Sam's gonna be fired or something. But it was just like these were my like completely honest thoughts, where it was like, to be honest, I didn't even think about myself, which is maybe like a good sign or something, because I know like no matter what happens, I know I'm gonna be okay. I haven't made like plan Bs. But, you know, the thought does come into mind, and people do ask me every now and then, like, if I wasn't doing YouTube, what would I do? And almost like instantly, I just kind of blurt out, yeah, military, because that's what I was like on track for. I was already enlisted in the military before that I'd like truly decided to like double down on YouTube. And the more that I'd learn more about like leadership and this movement that we're doing and this responsibility that I'm taking, it's like, I know for a fact I would be like a fantastic like Marine officer or something, with the aspect of it being heavily focused on like discipline and humility. If you're becoming the officer is kind of like the guys who are leading. That's not me trying to big up my own fucking ego and be like, oh yeah, I'll be a Marine or some shit, like as if it's easy or anything. But that's just like the thought process that I have. But yeah, man, first feeling of stress in a while. So I'm really grateful that I've not had a feeling of stress in so long. So it shows that my life is so like luxurious and privileged, because there's so many people who just have these feelings every single day. for so long I've not had this feeling of like thinking that I'm not making enough money. I don't have this feeling that, you know, my family are against me. Like, my family have been nothing but supportive for this journey with YouTube. I've never had that thing of like, you know, they've wanted me to be a doctor, but I want to be a fucking YouTuber. Never had that. They wanted me to be a YouTuber. They've supported me and everything. Everyone's been supportive. I can't even say that I've got haters, because there's people who write what seems like hate because of my ego first, but then I reread it a few times and I realize, wait, this is actually like a guy who likes me, who's trying to be constructive and helping me. It's just, it fucking hurts to read something that's somewhat against you, and, you know, someone saying like, wait, you can do better. There's a sense of pain in that. And then there's like total fucking Jeffreys who just like argue with us, and they're just talking about like black pill. And I see a comments of those, the same guy as well. It's fucking, oh man, there's this same guy. I showed my team this, all the editors, my assistants. There's the same guy who's commented on most of the videos on this second channel, and I won't say his name, but maybe you'll like, you boys can find him or something. And he's commented, and he comments some fucking dark shit. Like, he comments like he wants to fight me, that he'd slit my face with like razor blades or something, and he's black pilled. And he, you know, he writes about black pill, like, how does it, like, I've talked about getting like sleeping with a girl in Amsterdam, and he's like, how does this guy get girls and I don't, and all this. And usually when someone comments like that, you know, it's like a empty account, like you click on it, there's nothing there. This was the first time that I clicked on like a black pillar, like an incels YouTube page, and it literally had videos of him, and it's fucking, oh my god, you see how the other side live. It was fucking mad. I clicked on, and it's like this guy, like, it seems that he lives in a trailer which is just cluttered with fucking mess. Like, he's recording on his phone and there's just like shit all behind him. He's inside of a trailer. And in pretty much every video, like, he stops the video like every few seconds to take a sip of like some fucking liquor or something. And I kind of watched it on like a little show with my team, like, not like a show, but like, you know, on Discord you can like screen share. So I told them, oh, you know, this guy's been leaving hate mail, and like, here's this thing. And we were like, wait, what the fuck? Like, he's actually pretty attractive. Like, if he just fucking, like, he looks like he stinks. And no offense to him, but like, he's probably watching this. You look like you stink, bro. You literally look like you probably smell of like BO. And I'm not trying to be horrible, but like, you've actually got like wheat waffles would rate you higher than he'd rate me. This is where the black pill's so fucking weird, man. I know this is a side topic, but it's like if you find this guy's YouTube page, it's fucking mad, because if you literally look at his face, it's like, you know, there's a sense of like despair and hopelessness in his face, which makes him more ugly. And of course, you know, they'll be like, oh wait, that's not scientific, it's actually the navel Campbell tilt, some bullshit. But like, just look at his face and I objectively think like, shit, like, he's got cheekbones, he's got like the fucking hunter eyes and everything. But here he is, here's a guy who's taken the black pill, who's lost all hope because he's found these communities online that tell guys like, oh, you know, dating's so hard. Please believe me when I say, like, the power of your belief is so fucking strong. If you think dating is so hard, if you think like, oh, I can't get girls because I'm brown, because I'm short, because I'm X, then you will not get girls. Always just ask yourself that question. Is there a guy who has that same trait as you who gets girls? Is there a guy who's short who gets girls? Yes. So then it was never about you being short. Is there a brown guy who gets girls? Yes. So it was never about you being brown. What it truly is that you've fed yourself this, you've conditioned yourself to act in a way where you now don't think you know, the most important characteristic of actually getting the girl is actually feeling like you can get her. Like, that's like the level 0 psychological shit. Like, none of these fucking simpleton black pillars can understand, because they only want to see like data and facts and stuff. The truth is, like, the power of your belief is so fucking strong. You at least first need to believe that you can get her. Otherwise, it's one of those like stereotypical Disney movies where it's like the guy thinks that he couldn't get her, but he actually gets her. That's like once in a blue moon. That's a very special event when like the guy feels below the woman. You need to feel like, yeah, like, of course I can attract her. I love Chris from First Man. I love his mindset where he, like, one time he just kind of randomly said it. He was like, yeah, like, she's having sex with someone, why not with me? Yeah, why not with me, bro? I guarantee, like, okay, there's this hot girl or something. I guarantee, like, she's been with guys who are way worse than me, so why not me then? It's like, you've got to have this level of attitude where, like, you're not entitled or anything, but you just kind of think, like, yeah, like, I could probably yeah, there's a chance. There's a completely side note, because this video was supposed to be about the stressful feeling, but, like, I have this quite an insane level of accountability to stay true on self-improvement and the good habits, and especially with, like, character traits. And the big thing that recently we've been talking about on the channel is, like, casual sex, and that's where I've been, like, contradicting myself. And I do agree to an extent that I have, but I've never once said, like, I can tell you something's bad while still making the same mistake myself. And this isn't me trying to like cope or anything, but like, you've got to, like I've said this in the previous video, like you've got to understand, like I'm kind of like a recovering sex addict, and it's kind of like imagine an alcoholic who tells you don't drink alcohol, and then you imagine like he's it's currently an alcoholic, and imagine you saying like, oh, but you're still drinking, so that means that you're wrong. Well, bro, he's telling you that it's bad to drink because he's the alcoholic, because now he's finding it hard to quit. Does that make sense? It's like you shouldn't take only a recovering alcoholic's advice that alcohol's bad, because if you see someone who's down fucking bad, who drinks every single day, and he tells you, okay, don't get into drinking consistently, look, yeah, take that on board, bro. There's the guy who's like experiencing like the negative, the punishment that you don't want. So some people do, like, I've seen this comment so much, and it's like, as much as I want to have humility and accept everything that people say, I've got to kind of go against that, because a lot of people said, oh, but Hamza says not to have casual sex, but he has it. But it's like, bro, like, I'm on the other side. If I was telling you not to have casual sex and I was like, I've never experienced that life before, my advice, my wisdom wouldn't be worth anything. As much as like I've got respect, and we all respect like some like old wise pastor, is that how you say pastor, or like some imam, you respect like really religious guys who say like, here's the dangers of casual sex. The truth is, like, most young men can't really relate to a guy who's speaking without experience. Really, like, the best teacher is someone who's experienced it themselves. So whilst there is like a level of contradiction, I'm saying casual sex is bad, and then like, oh yeah, I've done it again, it's like, but learn from my mistakes though. At least let one of us profit. I'm trying to learn too, but it's like, it's taken me a while, man, because it's like, you don't just quit like video games on the first time that you have the thought. If you were deep inside, some guys like just quit and it's no problem, but it's like they were never like gamers. If you're like a gamer and you fucking put thousands of hours, you quit that same game how many times? Be honest, if you played RuneScape, how many times did you actually quit before you quit League of Legends? How many times did you fucking uninstall League of Legends, bro? Yes, I feel this for the first time in a while. Actually, I feel this level of pressure, which I've not felt before in like literally so long. Like, my family's never really pressured me to like be a certain, like, to be a certain, like, I've got abuse and shit, fair enough. Like, I've never been pressured to like act in a certain way, and this is the first time where it feels like pressure. I'm very grateful for it, because it is keeping me on track. And there's times when like I think of like what the boys would think before I go and do like a certain kind of action. There's times when like, not so many, I'll be completely honest, like I've reached the point of like momentum, and the ball's rolling, so like the hard stuff honestly feels like fun for me now. But it's this level of pressure where I was just thinking like, fuck, like, I've really got to make sure that like my character's on point, my values are on point, and it's becoming a lot more cutthroat, where I have to really think like, yeah, of course mistakes are gonna happen, but I've got to be really trying to like minimize them. And I think that the big area that we're all thinking about is like, with casual sex, when am I next gonna fuck? And yeah, man, who knows, bro? I feel completely clueless with that. I'm gonna be totally fucking honest, man. Like, for the last couple of weeks, when was so almost a month, like, not even a month, man, like 2 weeks, I've just taken a kind of a step back from women. I haven't really been talking to any girls. The only girl I have been talking to is the village girl, actually. And yeah, like, I've not wanted to say this stuff on the video. Like, so I made the Amsterdam video, then I made another video after that, and I didn't want to say certain things, because I didn't want it to seem like I was like copping out and saying like, oh no, because you guys are wrong about this. But I'll say it now. It's like, so me and the girl that I spoke about in the Amsterdam video, the village girl, we spoke like multiple times. Like, we went on like a bunch of calls since then, and whilst she was like upset about like the situation, she kind of like, she acted in a way like, yeah, she was surprised by the comments as well. And like, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's like casual sex and stuff. She was saying like it wasn't casual for her, and like it wasn't for me either. I think I probably didn't explain it right when I told the story, and that essentially people don't like, no, I explained it, like, I'll take the responsibility. I explained it in a way which made people feel like I kind of like tossed her aside, and it was like, oh, I took her virginity, I manipulated, like, I must have explained it in that kind of way, or that's the perception that people got. Whereas what it actually happened was like, we had been speaking and actually gotten like a level of like feelings for each other for like a month previously. We've been speaking like every single day, And so when we went to go see each other, it's like one of the first things that, yeah, literally one of the first things that we spoke about was like my plans in Amsterdam. And it was like straight up, like I just told her, yeah, like I've got a date tomorrow, like I'm seeing the girl from Dubai. So the second girl that I saw, and this is where it seems degenerate, because it's like, wait, there was two girls. But it's like, you've got to understand, like the first girl was the girl, the village girl who I'd been speaking to like for a month before this, and it was like proper hyping up, like, oh my God, we're going to see each other in Amsterdam. And then the second girl was the girl that I saw in Dubai, and it was the exact same thing. We were like, we're hyping up, oh my God, you know, you're flying out to Dubai, we're going to Amsterdam, we're going to see each other. So I'm not trying to like cop out of this and say like everything I did was absolutely fine, but I do think that I felt quite confused when I was looking through the comments, because whilst I wish at the time I took more of like a critical view to think, wait, like this girl's a virgin and that means so much, it wasn't really like that, didn't process in my mind. And of course that says something about my character, but it's like it didn't pop into my mind to think like, oh wait, like maybe I shouldn't sleep with her because, you know, nothing's gonna happen, because that's what people thought. But it's like truly in my mind, I'm like, that wasn't my thought, because we had been speaking, and like I've never actually like spoke to a girl for like a month who lives in like a different country before, and like I knew that she had like she's a beautiful girl and she's got this level of like purity and personality. She was writing a song about me and everything, so it's like it was already building up to that I was kind of like visualizing like dating. So people had this idea like, oh no, you know, I just fucked her and I knew that I'd be ditching her to the side and stuff. But it's like, I'm not trying to cop it, I'm not trying to make excuses, but like the truth is like I kind of imagined like, yeah, we'd start dating. And so that's pretty much what happened. Like we went on a date first, and a bunch of people were commenting saying like, oh, you know, casual sex is bad, but if you like really like a girl and you go on a date first and one thing leads to another, it's not so bad. Like that's exactly what happened. And she was upset because I had planned for the next girl, but she kind of like, she knew it, and we spoke multiple times since then, and she kind of understood, yeah, it was just a bit of an awkward situation where like, of course, if I was coming to Amsterdam to see her and the girl that I just previously connected with also lives in Amsterdam, of course I'm gonna come see both. Like, and a lot of people were saying, oh, but you know, you shouldn't have sold, like, I want you to reasonably think like you've got two girls who want to meet you in the city, you're gonna go there for a few days, you're gonna do like a meetup with like your fans and everything. You're not just gonna like meet one girl and then just like sit at home, or you know, like just be by yourself when like there's another girl who lives in the same city as you who you like and likes you too. So yeah, I don't know if that's like a fucking excuse and like this makes me look worse or not, but I've wanted to kind of say that, and perhaps it's just to like clear my ego and like make sure people don't hate me and stuff, but like that's really the truth. I did visualize that this might even fucking I'm not gonna do it, but I did randomly visualize like do a podcast with the village girl. But I think I'm going to try and keep her away from the fucking technology and the internet as much as possible. Yeah. So that isn't to say, I've actually been considering to privatize the Amsterdam video, because some of the latest comments are kind of like, now it's just like my fans who are watching it, you know, like fans who are watching like a bunch of the Unfiltered channel, they're just like going through the videos, and so there's just like a couple of new comments of people being like, oh Hamza, like that's so sick, you're living the life right now, and it's kind of like do you know what I mean? So I've been thinking about privatizing it, but I also feel like maybe that's a level of like my ego saying like, oh quick, privatize it so like no one knows what you did and everything, which like I don't know, I'm not trying to like, I've never tried to hide stuff that I do or anything. So yeah, this is just like an early morning introspective thought, because I've just literally been sat journaling for like 4 hours. Shall I read you my journal? Let's see what we wrote. Thursday, 17th of March. Your actions have consequences. Treat her right. I was just about to message a girl that I used to speak to, and I've put in brackets, I won't write her name because I'm going to record this page for my daily Instagram reel. So the girl I'm speaking about is, I've never really spoke about her on the videos, like not much in detail. I think I've briefly mentioned her once. She knows who she is. Well, she probably will know. If she's watching this, she probably will know. It's not like it's not like the girls from Amsterdam or anything, but yeah. It's just the girl that I've sort of went out to meet a couple of times. I was going to send her a song that reminded me of her, because I woke up this morning at like literally 1 a.m, like 1:30, and then I was just gonna journal, so I was gonna put on like my Spotify playlist, and on my desktop, like my desktop is just fucking cluttered with like, you know, fucking files, and I'm one of those dickheads who like doesn't organize his desktop, and there was just like a song file of this song that I used on an Instagram reel, where like it's a unpublished song. It's so weird. It's like the artist didn't really fully release it, but some guy got it and then he's playing it out on a speaker on a YouTube video. So imagine you're watching a YouTube video and some guy's like playing the song and he's like vibing to it, and that's like the only fucking version of the song that you can find. So I downloaded the song, converted it to like MP3, and I wrote here, I was gonna send her that song because I always listen to it on the way to see her. It's 2 a.m. I can't sleep. I'm in my feels. It would have felt like a nice message to send, but you must think of the consequences. A mature man keeps in mind that his actions make how his actions make other feels, how his actions make others feel. And while sending that message would have made her feel good, it would have started things back up again after I decided to let things go. What do I want from my date in life? I feel like I've never been able to answer that question. Rational logic versus emotional desires. Which one should I listen to? The rational idea that I'm holding off because I'm attracting better women every year, every couple of months is total truth. But I deeply crave intimacy. Making friends has helped, but I still find my mind and my body yearning to be connected to a woman. Is that a feeling that should be ignored? A desire that must be overcome? Just like the desire to skip the gym. Perhaps. Maybe these thoughts are too deep. I'm taking a step back from dating, and yet I only look back in gratitude for the memories and learning lessons I've had with the women that I've connected with. But you can be grateful for mistakes that you've learned. But you can be grateful for mistakes that you've learned from that you don't want to repeat. That's so true. It's hard to read this, man. I'm kind of sleep deprived and I was writing this in like broken English because it was dark. What will my purpose of leading men to be more like Adonis? What will help my I'm speaking like a... Brad, there's no point even watching this video, man. I'm reading like a dumbass. What will help my purpose of leading men to be more like Adonis? Forget about your desires. Think about the bigger picture. What is best for my purpose? To have high standards and be open to dating a really good girl who specifically causes growth. I think it's silly to be stressing myself out about thinking whether she would be a good mother, long-term relationship. Be here right now. And this is part of the advice that like I really don't know how to structure dating, man. Like, so I made that video titled "I've Gotta Stop Having Sex," and the most liked comment was someone saying like, "Oh no, Hamza, you're overthinking this, and just like focus on here and now, and you know, just if you have a good date with her, have another one." And like everyone agreed with that, and I do like the mindset of that, but then you've got to think that that's like, that to me seems quite short-sighted, to think like, oh, you know, just think about here and now, we're only here for a good time, like, you know, don't think about like long-term like good flags or anything, because the truth is, let's fully implement that, right? There's a bunch of girls right now who are attractive and I can go on like a date with and everything, and you know, it's good right now, we've had like a lot of laughs and stuff, and that's really nice, it really is. But then if I ignore like thinking about long-term potential, then all it's doing is just causing like connections that might be better off not being connected. Does that make sense? Like, imagine you go on a date with a girl and you've had like a really good time, you've connected well, and you've got like a sense of like emotional connection and everything, and you've laughed a lot and you've had a good time, and then you realize that, oh yeah, it's like not, you know, you realize instantly within like one date if this person even has potential to be like the mother of your children. And you know, some people will say, no, you don't, like that's not, like you can't realize that fast. But it's like, I don't know what kind of dates people are going on where they don't get into like deep conversations, but like maybe it's just me, but I speak about deep shit on like we have good times and we're drinking, we're laughing and we're flirting and we're kissing and everything. But the type of dates that I go on, man, like I don't know if this is different from everyone else, the other guys watching this or even girls watching this, but it's like first dates, bro. Like so many people have this thing of like, oh, like you can't, you know, ask that question on the first date. No one's ever said that shit to me. At least the girls that I connect with, it's like, we're talking about mental health, trauma, we're talking about childhood relationships, we're talking about deep, like, I'm not going on a fucking date to like chit chat, bro. That's not like, I don't know if I sound like an asshole or something, but that's so fucking weird, bro. Like, I'm not, oh, like, oh, I like eating good food. Shut the fuck up, bro. Yeah, so do I, bitch. So does everyone, dumbass. Oh, good food and long walks and shut the fuck up. Tell me about the time your dad touched you or something. Tell me, let's talk about something serious, man. So that advice is, I think, what most people kind of think that I would be better off taking is like, yeah, just think about the here and now, and maybe it can work. I don't know. So I went through all of it, and I was gonna make a separate video titled this. But if you've watched this far, I can pretty much get your advice if you're like 30 minutes in. Just like, if you're gonna reply to this, write some kind of comment so I know that you've watched this far. Like, start your comment off with Hamza. Yeah, do that. Start your comment. I'm gonna say something, so kind of, if you've watched this far, I want you to kind of like give me an answer, but I also want to not fully broadcast this bit of the video. So if you've read this far, just like start your comment with Hamza, then I'll know if you've watched like 30 minutes in. So I'm trying to write, okay, you know, how to structure dating and everything. And one of the things that I've really considered here is that relationships are progress to marriage and kids, like an official relationship. So I wrote in like big capital letters, do not make her my girlfriend. Do not make her your girlfriend if you plan to break up eventually. Start the long-term relationship if she's high quality, if she's truly got long-term potential. And it's common sense to most people, but I'm not gonna lie, because I've said, like, I truly am clueless about this, man. Like, I had no experience of dating before I found the red pill, and then I was just, through the red pill, I learned how to be a degenerate. My parents didn't teach me how to like get into dating. I never had any experience in high school or anything, so it's like, you've got to think like I'm starting from fucking zero. Like, I know I'm fucking good at being a degenerate. And this is like, I shouldn't ask for like credit, I'm not gonna lie, but it's like, it's kind of cringe saying this, but it's like, I wish I did get a level of credit for that sort of venture of this idea of like having no experience, mastering fucking degeneracy and being able to like sleep with girls and stuff, and then wanting to take a step back from that for this level of like virtue, and you know, there's like higher things to focus on. Because the overwhelming majority of guys, like, as much as, you know, people say it's like it's because of religious reasons or anything, I know for a fact, this isn't me trying to put the guys down and bring me up, but the truth is, like, the majority of guys, if you were in the same position as me, bro, you would suffer. You're so certain right now that you won't, but I ask you to take some humility and think like, wait, hang on, imagine like you're attracting like the best women you've ever had in your life, and imagine they want to sleep with you like as soon as you meet them, and you know, they'll all say like, no, that's not, but between me and you, like, bro, like, you know how it is. Like, imagine like women, like more women than ever attracted to you. You're getting the most beautiful women in your life, and they're starting on you, they're messaging you first, and it's like you've got this level of like celebrity effect. It's hard to take a step back. It's hard to like not like cash in on that. It truly is. This is why, like, you know, so many rappers and like rock stars and groupies and all this shit. It's like a lot of people were saying, not a lot of people, but there's a couple of people who were saying, oh, Hamza's manipulative because he's using his like his fame or something to manipulate these girls to get them into. But bro, it's not manipulation. It's literally not manipulation at all. It's like manipulation is kind of like this hurtful intent to like change a person's behavior, whereas like their behavior, like a woman's behavior to me, is like this. It's completely clear and like cutthroat. It's like she sees a guy who has a sense of like, you know, developed personality and stuff, which I'm not trying to sound like a dickhead, but like there's not like, most guys are like lads. Most guys don't even think like they have like emotions or anything. They don't have like levels of like emotional intelligence and everything, never mind like any kind of level of success and clout and wealth. And yeah, I'll double check with my journal if it is manipulative. I don't think it is. Maybe you can like let me know. I don't think it would be like manipulative to think, oh, like he's using his fame. Like, I'm not, but that's like saying, oh, but you're using your physique to attract girls. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. You know what? Like, well, yeah. It's not so much that I'm using my fame, but it's just like my fame does fame. I don't think it's really fame, but like fame, of course, it does attract like women. But oh, you're using your physique to attract. Well, yes, 100% I am, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, of course I am. You're using your money to attract it. Well, yeah, like that's not manipulative, because it's not like I'm like, you know, hiding the intention and saying like, oh, like, you know, acting in a certain way, which, do you know what I mean? But it's like there was a lot of fucking comments, man, and so there's a lot of like thought process and like like I want to reply to so many people, but I also, it's like, it's weird being in this position when like so many people are watching your actions, because you don't want to come across as like a dickhead when you kind of disagree with someone, because there's a level of like, there's the benefit of having humility and just kind of saying, oh yeah, you know, you're right, let me like double check that over. But so this is like a realization for me, but it might seem kind of anticlimactic for you if you're a normal, healthy person. And I think the biggest thing that I've really struggled with is this idea, like, I actually do want like connection and intimacy, but I've held off on a relationship because of this idea that I can't attract the quality of woman right now that I could attract in another 5 to 10 years. And so it's like, excuse me, I can cash out right now. I can, like, you know, date women, get into a serious relationship and start considering like kids and marriage and everything. But the truth is, like, every 6 months my life is changing so drastically that like 6 months ago I wasn't attracting the kind of women that I am now. 6 months before that I wasn't attracting the kind of woman that I was then. And 6 months before that, like, I wasn't attracting any women at all. Obviously months before that, years before that, I was like attracting like degenerates and stuff. A couple of years before that I was attracting no girls like at all. So you can see like it really is like this compounding like line here. And so I've always had this thing, and like it was really solidified by the YouTuber First Man, of this idea of like stick or twist. Like, you can stick here where you are right now and cash in and enjoy your life, or you can have this idea of like twisting, like not cashing in, you know, doubling down and thinking, wait, like the reward could be bigger in the future. And it does seem weirdly like autistic when you think about relationships, but the truth is, like, mate, I've made delaying gratification like such an important value for myself. That's really where like my growth came from. That's where like literally I saved my life when I was living such a fucking horrible life. But it was this idea, wait, why are you indulging in pleasure today when you can have a bigger reward tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow? And so it does feel like delayed gratification to like not be open to relationships right now for the sake of more growth, and then be open to a relationship 5-10 years from now. That was my mindset through all this. But then it just kind of hit me where I thought, okay, imagine I meet like an absolutely amazing woman. Imagine I meet like literally like a woman who I think she would have to be like quite a few years younger than me with this, you know, it's like the red pill graphs and all this shit, but it's like, that's one of the things that kept on coming up. But imagine you meet like this amazing, beautiful woman who checks like a bunch of boxes. Would I not date her? Would I suddenly just, oh, but no, you know, she might be a little bit more attractive if I wait? Of course not. So I thought, you know what, then technically, like, I am open to it then. It's just got to be with a girl who like really, really impresses me. So I wrote this was a realization where I wrote like, essentially, be open to a relationship if I meet a great woman. Be open to meeting her now. Set standards. This was really nice. Set standards higher than what I want right now for future Hamza's benefit. So say if I want a woman on this level right now, but I also know that like my level of growth just keeps going up and up and up, and with my growth goes up my standards too. I have this like weird, like, obviously I'm an overthinker. It's pretty fucking obvious that I'm such an overthinker. But the idea is, if here is my current standards, here is like what I would, you know, like I'd like in a girl. But I'm kind of purposely setting my standards even higher than that, with this idea that my standards are going to go up in the future. So it's almost like a fail-safe. So the sort of basic TLDR autistic is like, if I meet a girl who's fucking sick, who's like awesome, who really impresses me, then yeah, I'll be down for a relationship. Because obviously, like, she's got to check the boxes in terms of like, and like, I'm going to get into a relationship if I think like I'm going to have children with this girl, or like, you know, that's something we can progress to. Because a lot of people think, oh, you can get into like a casual relationship. I don't want to do that. There's like Chris's sort of thing of like short-term, long-term dating, which is like, you know, date for a few months. And I was on that idea a little bit. But I think this idea of like getting into a relationship, having a boyfriend, girlfriend situation when you're kind of expecting not to progress into something serious, that feels weird to me. So I've kind of set the title like, a girl will be my girlfriend when she really impresses me, and like I can start to like really see like a potential future, like long-term future with her. And then really lies the question of it, what do I do right now? So this is what I wrote down. Be open to be truly impressed. It has to be a 100% hell yes kind of experience. When I meet her, get serious. What if I interact/date a woman who isn't a hell yes / super impressive? Be respectful and honest. Just tell her like, I didn't feel the connection, I don't really see a future. So I wrote this down. Go on dates, be a gentleman, have a good time, see if she truly impresses me, and if I see potential in her, then continue dating. And I know what I just said is just so fucking like common sense. I can't believe it took me this long to realize this, but like that's fucking profound to me. This realization. Okay, I can go on dates, I can be a gentleman, and I wrote this underneath it as well. Essentially, this is just healthy, normal dating, but without the focus on sex. So dating that I've had in all of my life so far, like going on a date, has always been almost like a play just to be able to sleep with the girl. I've never really wanted to like go on a date with a girl if we took away the possibility of like, you know, I can get the one night close, I can like fuck her, you know, like the red pill type of degenerate alpha male type of shit. That's always been like what I've been focused on. And taking that away and just thinking like, this is how healthy people, like you'll go on a date to get to know the person, to see if like you're compatible. I've never had that in my mind before, because I've never needed a level of compatibility, because you don't like, as long as you're attracted to them, okay, you want to fuck. That's my mindset all this time. So I've never had this thing of like, oh yeah, like let me see if I like her, let me go on a date first to see if like, you know, we're compatible, if like we'll get along and stuff. The level of like compatibility and getting along has always been previously for me just kind of like, oh yeah, like does she make me laugh, and like, are we gonna kiss and like make out and like go back to the hotel or like go fuck or something. That's like the level of compatibility. Like, are we just gonna have like a good fun flirty conversation that leads to having sex later, and then, you know, all the consequences will happen. Whereas now this feels like so fucking healthy to think like, I don't need to be like completely restrictive to myself and say like, wait, no women, like don't look at women and stuff. And I certainly will go into like periods of monk mode where I won't think about girls, where I can just focus on my business. But I feel like I'm somewhat like, I'm gonna meditate on this and, you know, be more introspective. I'm a fucking overthinker. Maybe I should like just stop being introspective. But I also feel like I'm so like, my actions are so like wishy-washy that I really have to I have to put in like a lot of intention to like really stick to something, like, you know, a new idea or a plan. Some people can seem to just be like, yep, like I'll do it. For me, it's like a constant, like I have to I have to write it in like big letters and like stick it up on my fucking wall to remind myself. Otherwise, like, because I'm naturally a Jeffrey, I'm naturally like a fucking weakling. So I have to like fully be introspective, and it's kind of annoying because I think it just takes a lot of time to be, you know, introspective and really like ask loads of questions and do the shit like this. But I guess that's just, it's what I have to do to like grow. So it is a big realization for me to know that you can date someone to get to know them, to think, you know, like what's their values and what's their experiences, what kind of person are they, do they make me laugh, are they impressive, are they really beautiful and everything. And to not just think that you can go on a date for the sole purpose of trying to fuck them. So one of the things that Sam is like the first video editor I got for the main channel, if you don't know. So one of the things I messaged him, it was like 3 a.m. and this motherfucker's still awake, like doing work. I messaged him on Discord telling him all this, and we just had like a conversation. And the last few messages he sent me were really interesting. He said, Hamza, I swear, bro, I genuinely feel like you may learn something about yourself if the next 5 girls you have sex with or / date, you don't tell a soul or hint towards. No Instagram posts, no telling the boys, no, not even posts alluding to being with the girl, nothing at all, no story. Like essentially not a single soul finds out about the next 5 like dates or girls that I go to meet. And I was like, why is like, and I was straight away, you know, it was so interesting. I was like, oh, like, but that's gonna ruin a lot of the fun. But, you know, in my mind I was like, no, because there'll be less growth if I don't talk about it, if I don't post it on Instagram. And he said, your ego is attached to your success with women. Date equals success. Strip that away. What's left? And I was like, fuck, that's actually a really good point, because that's like a healthy way. And I told him one of the main things in my mind was like, you know, I'll start dating again and I'll be able to make like really good Instagram reels with the girl, and like I crave so much fucking validation and ego. I wrote this, obviously this isn't true, before someone tries to fucking cancel me, but I was like all I care about is like ego and getting recognized from the homies. In the end, I don't even think that I like women, bro. All of this, like all this fucking dating and casual sex has just been because I want to make more like male friends who like me and like want to big me up and shit. And he wrote, go monk mode on your ego. give it nothing. Experience these things without the ego fulfillment, and I feel like you will be able to find yourself presence, connections, looking past just the sex you could have tonight. Starve your ego, dude, for real. Sam's a very, very like wise guy, man. That's a fantastic piece of advice. So, you know, I've been thinking, like, we spoke and he was disagreeing with me, saying, like, I shouldn't be making videos where, you know, like, what happened in Amsterdam, like, I slept with a girl and here's my learning lessons and stuff. Which, like, I'm kind of mixed on that, because he's right in the sense that, like, you know, it's a bad look for the business and everything, but at the same time, it's like, so much growth came from me saying, you know, making the video in Amsterdam and then making, like, the video afterwards. So he was kind of saying, like, my ego's so tight that it almost, it seems to him, and probably to a fair amount of people, that come on like these videos to like flex and to boast about the, like, a few people have commented that, and like, I don't consciously think that that's the case, that like, if I speak about like sleeping with a girl, that, or, you know, I speak about my degenerate days, like, I'm saying it to like flex, because truly, like, I don't really think it's anything to flex about. Like, I think that's maybe more of a projection of the person who's watching, because to me, it's like, when I speak about having sex with a girl, when someone speaks, it's like, it's nothing to me. And this, again, may sound like a flex, but it's like, it means nothing when, you know, I say it, like, oh yeah, like, I'm not saying it to like try and get your validation. Perhaps I am, because maybe that's the main reason why I've been in the casual sex scene. Maybe this is getting too fucking complex, but the not to sound like you know, I'm boasting, this is a flex, but it's like, hooking up with a girl is kind of like effortless for me, honestly. Like, I don't mean to be like a dickhead and whatever, like, you know, he thinks he gets girls and shit, but it's like, once you've done this shit for fucking years, bro, it's like, it's not that, it's imagine I was like, would you really say it's boasting if I say like, oh yeah guys, I've been consistent in the gym? Is it? I mean, technically it is, but it's like, I found that with money and with attracting women, like having sex, those are the two things that you aren't really allowed to talk about. So I can tell you, like, oh, you know, I went to the gym and like, here's my progress. I can tell you about, like, you know, I've been meditating, my mental health is better, and no one's gonna think, oh, he's flexing, he's boasting. But the moment it comes to me like making money, and I'll say like, oh, you know, I've made money, here's like my advice to you, everyone's like, oh wait, he's boasting, he's pushing it into me because he's trying to make me feel insecure. But it's like, maybe it's just a projection of your own feeling. I don't, maybe I'm wrong on this. If you've watched this far, I'd actually really appreciate, like, should I continue making those videos of like what happened in Amsterdam, what happened in, because anytime I make a fucking what happened in X, chances are it's going to be like, oh yeah, like, I met a girl and like, this is what happened. And good, like, fantastic fucking growth came from that, for my personal benefit, and I guess my benefit is like the channel's benefit. But should I be making those videos? Should I be, like, he was saying like, but what benefit is it for the viewer? And, you know, I could kind of rack my brain for some, because you can kind of, like, you know, the viewer can follow my story and the viewer can, like, relate, and then they see me grow, and, like, you know, I've said, oh, like, you know, I fucked up in Amsterdam or something, and this is what you, like, you know, here's my learning lessons. But then at the same time, it's like, maybe there isn't much of a benefit to just hearing me talk about, like, oh yeah, I went to Amsterdam and I slept with two of my fans, and I went to Dubai, and, like, I don't know. Some people have said, like, they'd rather watch those videos than just sticking on something on Netflix, and, like, that's pretty much why I recorded the videos, because I was just thinking, like, personally, yeah, I am big-headed as fuck, but, like, personally, I would rather listen to me speak. Like, this is me literally saying, I'd rather just watch a video of me than watch fucking Netflix or most YouTubers, to be honest. So I literally just watch my own, I watch my own videos. I don't know if that's fucking sad or something, but I watch my own videos, bro. Yeah, but let me know. I've asked like a bunch of questions in this video. My mind's all over the place, but I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling really good. I know that I've often spoke very recently about like so many like problems and mistakes and everything, and I think I should spend more time talking about things that like I'm proud of and I'm grateful for, and I should make some more like positive kind of videos. But so much growth is coming from this, and it really highlights the skill of humility to me. Like, I think I'm just like, I'm a beginner, I'm a noob in this skill. I've got like level 3 humility right now, because I've always had this arrogance and this ego, and I've always been blinded, and, you know, I've never wanted to like take responsibility for improving myself. If someone disagrees with me, then they're wrong, I'm right. But the last couple of weeks has been such a big practice of humility for me. And so if you're like a young guy and you can relate to all like the learning lessons that I've been to over the past like 2 weeks or so through this channel, you've seen some of those videos and everything, man, all I can recommend is like look into the skill of humility. The book Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. A second book by Jocko Willink is like Leadership Tactics and Strategies, and it's by the same guy, so just get that. And I think those are it. those 3 books on humility, like so much growth has come from like reading those books and listening to them on audiobook. Because really, like, you've got to understand, like, self-improvement, like, you've got to have humility, you've got to be able to see where your weaknesses lie. So I'm so grateful that even though it hurts to read a comment of someone like saying something like, you know, Hamza, you're doing something bad or anything, it's like, that's how we grow. And I really hope you've got someone who can call you out like that. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.